We Need Each Other is a podcast about the importance of human interaction. It provides a reminder that we are not intended to live in isolation. Human beings need each other. The things about another that piss you off and the things that take you over the moon are all opportunities to see through another's eyes, recognize their intrinsic value, and then look more deeply within ourselves to find the love that's always there. We're here, We Need Each Other, another episode in a bookstore, the Book Jewel. I'm so excited to be here because I'm so happy the bookstores are back. We have two people with us. We have Karen Dial, who is the owner, and Sean Moore, who is the manager of the Book Jewel. So let me start with reading Karen's bio. Westchester, California is my hometown, and I love this community with my whole heart. I went to school here, met my husband of 47 plus years here, and watched my grandmother, Ella Drollinger, and parents, Jewel and Howard Drollinger, build their lives and careers here. My grandmother built the first commercial business in Westchester in 1943 because she believed it would one day become a community, although at the time it was wheat, bean, and barley fields next to a small airport called Mines Field. My mom and dad, Jewel and Howard, were guiding forces in the development of Westchester during their lives, both through business, Drollinger Properties, and their community involvement in the YMCA, Rotary, Flight Path, Aero Club, and the Chamber of Commerce, just to name a few. I was provided the opportunity to learn the business by serving on the Drollinger Properties Board of Directors, starting in 1997. But the real learning came when I began working with my dad in 2004, and then, following his passing, I became president in 2006. I knew from the very beginning this was what I wanted to do with the next phase of my life. As I learned the business and became reacquainted with my hometown, I realized that I wanted to bring a bookstore to Westchester. Unable to lure an existing bookstore, I decided to open one of my own. To me, a bookstore is the heart of a community, a gathering place for learning, camaraderie, dreaming, empathy, and acceptance. I absolutely love that. Yes, I agree with you, Karen. And Sean Moore's bio. I grew up in Long Beach, California, where I cultivated my lifelong love of books and dreamed of owning an independent bookstore in my hometown. In 2010, I realized this dream when Gatsby Books opened its doors in August of that year. Gatsby stands as a pillar of the Long Beach community, providing a space for writers, artists, and readers of all kinds to connect and share their passions. Prior to the pandemic, Gatsby was hosting a plethora of events, including poetry readings, short story contests, and live music in the store, nicknamed the literary heart of Long Beach. Our store has grown with its community through a difficult year and come out stronger from it. Last year, I was privileged to have been hand-chosen by Karen Dial to manage the Book Jewel and help make her dream of having an independent bookstore in her hometown of Westchester come true. Karen is a staple of our community, and working with her has been a truly wonderful experience. Her determination and commitment to her community is commendable and emblematic of her upstanding character. Our vision is clear. We want the Book Jewel to be the best independent bookstore in Los Angeles and a place that celebrates the inclusive spirit of Westchester, where creative minds of all ages, shapes, and forms can flourish. You can see this transformation take place every month at our outdoor poetry events that have brought us together in a year that has often felt too isolating. Spending my days at the Book Jewel with my Westchester family, including, yes, our adorable store cat Pages. Pages is adorable, fills my heart with joy. So welcome, Karen, and welcome, Sean. I'm so excited to have you here on We Need Each Other because, you know, you got something that I need. I know that. We need.
Thank you.
This all came about for me because there's a Thai restaurant near your bookstore that I would go to often during pandemic because they had this amazing curbside pickup. It was so easy. Mm-hmm. And one day I went, the Book Jewel? Is that a bookstore? is a bookstore opening, and this is the honest to God truth. I sat in the parking lot and shed tears because I love bookstores, and I think I'm not the only one who thought bookstores were going away. They were disappearing. Bookstores were closing down, and I'm just so excited that you're here. So, how do you two know each other?
Well,
Well,
please go ahead.
yeah, well, um, like you mentioned, Francesco, we were we were opening an indie bookstore, which means that we needed to find a well-established and sage manager to run the show, and someone
Mm-hmm.
who has had years of
Mm-hmm.
experience. And we pride ourselves on customer service, so this person needed to have a vibrant personality as well as a background in curating a huge array of books. So we found Sean
Mm-hmm.
through a series of people that introduced us. And through the path of about 4 years, he hung tight with us while we went through
Ah.
the purchasing of the building, and then the getting the decorations and agreeing on all of the bookshelves. And Sean and I were able to hand pick everything ourselves. And so that was a wonderful process. And,
Mm.
he's just turned out to be exactly the person that we need here in Westchester, because he's super community oriented, and he's so knowledgeable. That is the other thing we needed. So we became
Mm.
really good friends.
Yeah, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Actually, that's
Do you
kind
have
of
something to add to that, Sean?
I do. Where you ended is actually where it began. Is I think we were very good friends right from the get-go, and I love people that love books and bookstores. And I always had done things on my own without really partners. But when I met Karen and I met the rest of her Drollinger family, I thought these are people that I could work with to create something better than I could ever do on my own. And I feel, I do feel
Mm.
privileged to be here and to be working in this great community. And I really do think we've achieved our goal of making the best bookstore here in Los Angeles.
Beautiful. Hmm. Your store, the Book Jewel is in Westchester, California. If you live here, it is beautiful, and it is an experience. I'm going to back up a little bit more about the story because Karen and I have a common friend, Liza Wicker. Liza and I were talking about the store, and I know the owner. And I was like, oh my God, I need her on the podcast because I want to talk about it. Because when I saw your bookstore opening in this pandemic, we were in the early phases of it, and it was so devastating for everyone, the isolation and the whole energy of it, it made me think something normal is returning. There's something I can count on. There's something happening that I need to know that this is happening.
Mhm.
It just gave me a real sense of comfort. And I didn't go in that day, but I went in shortly thereafter, and what a welcoming experience. What a beautiful store. And Pages is amazing. The
Thank you.
cat. I love Pages. And Sean wasn't there the day that I came. There were two gentlemen in the store, and I don't remember their names, but they were wonderful. So
Yes. Mm-hmm.
go to the Book
We
Jewel.
have a fabulous
So I do want to ask,
staff.
you opened. Yes, apparently you do.
We do.
Yes. And in this day and age where everybody's short staffed and having a hard time finding people, that says a lot about you.
It
It
Thank
does.
you.
does, that you've drawn that to you. It says a lot. So you opened the Book Jewel during a global pandemic. Tell me
Yes.
what that was
Yes.
like.
Well, I think that Karen is absolutely a very, very brave person and a very hopeful person,
Uh,
because at a time in which everyone was really discouraged, didn't know what was going to happen, we are going to go forward with this dream. We're going to do it for the community, and we're going to open up at a time when other places are closing. And I just thought that's
mm,
community spirit that you can't, you can't buy that community spirit. That is so powerful.
Mm-hmm. Karen, what do you want to add to that? Because I know you got some stories.
Well, yes, we vacillated, Sean and I, and the building was ready. We had already, all the interior was finished. We had to store the bookshelves for months on end in Nashville, Tennessee, and we finally just said, you know what? I think we should just take the leap of faith and get the bookshelves in here and get them filled and then open the store. So we opened the store
Mm-hmm.
last
Mm.
year on July 29th, August 29th, excuse me, August
July
29th,
29th.
2020.
August. Yeah.
And
Okay. So you
it
just had
was
your
just,
anniversary.
it was, yes, we just had our first anniversary, but we are just so grateful we did. And in February this year, we decided to have an open mic series once a month, outdoors, under a
Uh,
tent,
uh,
in the
uh,
sunshine. And people knew it was going to be a teeny bit chilly, but it the crowds of people that came out were just really heartwarming. So
Hmm.
we're really glad we opened when we
is
did.
that something that's continuing?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
the open mic continuing?
Yep.
And when is it?
We well, it changes
How
from
often?
time. Every month there's at least
Okay.
one open mic. We have a couple book clubs that meet every month. We have lots of authors that come through the store, and we do children's story time 3 times a month on Sundays,
Mm.
first, third, and fifth Sundays of the month. We do a lot of really cool programmatic things here that just give people a reason to
I
stop by the
apparently
bookstore.
I apparently need to be on your email list so that I
Oh,
know about all
sure.
these things
Yeah.
that are happening.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's a
yes,
lot
I
going
have to
on.
do that. Yeah. Yes, it sounds like it. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So you opened during the pandemic, but you also opened during an intense racial divide, which seems to be continuing. And I wonder how that has affected your business and your personal lives.
Well, one of the things that I intensely believe is that books bring people together, and our store
Mhm.
is just one of the most diversely, like, the shelves are so packed with really great literature
Yes, that's
from all
true.
walks of life, all different cultures. And
Mhm.
I just feel like a bookstore is a place of conversation. It's a meeting place. It's sort of like a second living room for the community. And we have a really great,
Mhm.
strong neighborhood community here. We get such support
Mhm.
just from the people that live here. And this is a very diverse population, and we just love it being here.
Anything to add to that, Karen?
Well, just to
How
say
has
that
mhm.
one of our nearby sister cities is Inglewood, and another one is El Segundo, and we are right next door to Playa del Rey, and then Playa Vista is down the hill from us, and the marina's close by. So we draw from all of these communities, but also people from Torrance and the beach
Mhm.
community, Hawthorne. People are coming and finally finding us. So we feel that well,
Mm.
one of our, our inclusivity areas is just that we welcome everyone, every color, every
Mhm.
ethnicity. Anybody is welcome to come into this
Mhm.
store and browse around and ask for help. We have a well-seasoned staff that is welcoming, warming, and can answer questions easily. And if you don't find the book that you want, we'll order it for you and call you when it comes in. So it's a pretty special place.
Have your personal lives been affected by this racial divide? I want to call it this racial awareness, this racial whatever word we use. Have you been affected personally?
Well, there's sort of the human toll of turning on the news every night and finding that our country has got more and more divides, more and more anger, more and more distrust, and it hurts my heart, and it makes me sad for the direction the country takes sometimes. I do believe that we can, build back better. I really do believe that we can, through patience and listening to each other and talking to each other, we can be a little bit more cohesive, a little bit more understanding, and just be better people. So that's the personal side of it. And I don't know if I express it that well, but that's kind of what I feel is that we need
wonderful.
to do better.
What about you, Nance? And what about you, Karen?
I think that we all need to listen more and talk less, and put ourselves in other people's shoes, and be more kind to one another, wherever you are, whether it's a restaurant or just walking down the street. I actually have tried to do something different for the past couple of years, well before COVID, but just to say hello to people when you're walking on the sidewalk or walking in a parking lot, saying hello, it kind of, brings a smile to somebody's face. And I also had a mural made here in Westchester that it's a gigantic mural, and it says, "You are beautiful." And people that look at that say, "Wow, are they talking to me?" Yes, we're talking to everybody, because everybody has a modicum of beautifulness inside of them.
So you're doing those little things to help to wake people up.
Definitely.
To bring them back present. Yes,
definitely.
That's beautiful. What is the diversity, the ethnicity, the diversity breakdown of Westchester specifically? Because I really honestly don't know.
Go ahead, Sean.
I'm pretty sure that it's 50% non-Caucasian and 50% Caucasian. It's really pretty down the middle. But I'm not.
When you have,
don't know the demographics perfectly.
We don't know the exact statistics.
Yeah.
I know. You mentioned Inglewood. I live in Inglewood, and I'm in Westchester pretty much every day for something or other. And I do see all kinds of people when I'm there.
Something else that's kind of special is that we're so close to LAX that we have a lot of international visitors. Yes. And so in our store on a Saturday morning, you'll hear a group of people come in speaking Swedish or it's just, or Chinese tourists will come in. And it's great because we are so close to an international airport. And so Westchester is a place that draws people, as Karen mentioned earlier, not just from our neighboring communities, but really from all over the world. And we are the closest independent bookstore to LAX. So I think we get people that come in looking for a book before they go to the airport, So.
Do you do things specifically in the store that draws other cultures in?
Absolutely. We have things like of African American History Month, which we brought in a bunch of different authors, and we did poetry celebrating African American history. We've done the same thing with Filipino dance troupe and Irish dance troupe. We constantly find things that we can do to bring in different voices and different perspectives to the store. Right now we're celebrating Latin Heritage Month, and we're doing it by, we had two poets here on Saturday that were basically speaking about their experience through their words, like stand-up poetry, and just telling it as it is. And so that's the type of thing that we look for, is we look for just diverse voices and people that have something really important for them to say, because we're basically a soapbox. We're a place for someone to get their voice, to have their voice heard.
Right.
Is that? Go ahead, Karen. Were you going to say something?
No, that's okay. I love the soapbox. That is so true, Sean.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yep.
Is that you described, is that unique to a bookstore that they do all those various kinds of things, saluting different cultures and drawing in different cultures? Is that
Yeah.
unique?
You know, it depends on the store. There's plenty of stores that have that take the role that we do of being sort of a community champion. And then there's other stores that maybe because of space limitations, they just concentrate on selling books. And I think that all the types of
Mm-hmm.
bookstores are necessary and important and serve a good role in our society. We just have the benefit of having a little bit of room in our store, and just having the just desire to just want to create this experience that when you come into the store to get
Mm-hmm.
a gift for someone or a book for yourself, you might walk in on a poetry reading, or you might walk in on an author, this local author talking about the history of their family in Westchester, or things like that. We love creating these sort of like accidental experiences and just fun things happening
Mm-hmm.
at the store, because I guess one of our feelings is that if we aren't doing something in the space that's engaging the community, then we may as well just be selling books online. You know, we
Yes,
just sell a
right.
product
Yeah.
and don't have an experience or a community space. But since we have a community space, we are definitely going to use it as much as we can and get as many people through here as
Mm-hmm.
possible, and just have a great time doing it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. I asked that question because I'm a lover of books. I've loved bookstores for many, 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 many years, and it's unique from my experience. It's either you go into a place like there was. I don't know if you're familiar in Denver, Colorado. There's a tatted cover. I don't know if you have any
Oh,
familiarity with
yeah.
it at,
I
or at all, but
I'm
the tattered
familiar with it,
cover
but I haven't
is an
had a chance to visit.
amazing. Well, it's an
Hmm.
amazing
Yeah,
store when my children thought I was crazy. We moved to Denver when they were young. They're in their 30s now. And I said, we're moving because they have a 5-story bookstore here, you know? And it was a wonderful
yeah,
place. But I don't think it did what you described as far as drawing people from different cultures into the store. I never felt that there was a specific effort to do that. And then we have stores like SON Bookstore, which is a black bookstore, but it really is a black culture bookstore. It's not an attempt to draw other. So that's the reason I asked that question, because it's one of the things I love that you're doing is it's about community, and Lord knows right now we need
Hmm.
that feeling.
Hmm.
sure.
It's something that's really missing, that is
Yeah, we
needed. So I'm so
we need to
grateful
embrace.
And
that you're doing.
Right.
I was going to say, both of the bookstores you mentioned are really nationally known. SO1 Bookstore is known
Mm-hmm.
among book lovers all across the country as one of the premier bookstores in
Mm-hmm.
Los Angeles. And Tattered Cover,
Mm-hmm.
I've never visited it myself, but I know a lot about them from reading about them in magazine
Mm-hmm.
articles and just studying what they do and seeing their online presence. And so every store has its own personality, and it has its own like
Yes,
story and
exactly.
the thing that it needs, the story it needs to tell. And so we feel in Westchester,
Right.
a story we need to tell is one of community, especially, as you said, in the time we're in now. We need to create as
Mm-hmm.
much community as possible. And maybe our story will change
Mm-hmm.
over the years. But right now, our story
True.
is community and books and gifts and a cat. So,
Yeah, I had a cat.
yeah.
Where is Pages?
She's usually
Doing her
sleeping.
thing.
Usually
Yeah,
sleeping about this.
right.
Yeah, she does a fair amount of cat napping.
Right. So, what future plans do you have? Do you have some new things up your sleeve that we could be looking forward to?
Oh gosh. Well, one of the things we did that was really successful in the month of June for LGBTQ month is we had a drag show with an author and a poet here in the bookstore, and so we're doing that again in
Mm-hmm.
October. So that's something that you
Ah,
don't usually associate with a bookstore. Is just a fun event that's just basically
mm,
lip syncing and dancing and comedy, and all in good fun and a family show at that. So we're doing that later on in
I
the month.
love it.
And we're also doing a
Yeah.
scary story contest that's for ages, I think, like under 5, just draw a picture, up to, I think, adult.
Uh,
And we'll have a big celebration,
ah,
at the end of the month where we'll have the winners come in and read their stories, and we'll make a big party out of it. And, there'll be prizes,
Mm,
for the people that participate. And so we just like creating a show, having something to do.
yeah. Anything else that you have up your sleeve, Karen, that we don't know about?
Uh, no, Sean hit the two that are coming up for October. We'll have more.
Oh,
Uh,
I know one for next year though. The Can we tell them about the surprise? Our new neighbor.
oh, yes, that's for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay. Our daughter, my husband and I, our daughter Natalie, and her fiance will be opening a restaurant next year. So that'll be right next door. And on the second floor of the building will be an event space. So we can have larger
Oh,
author readings and poetry readings, things that draw a lot of people that wouldn't be able to necessarily fit in our smaller space here at the Book Jewel. And then there'll be a rooftop deck for eating. So that we have to look forward
ooh,
to next year.
when is this happening?
Oh, we're
Next
from
year in
maybe August.
2022.
20.
Yeah, maybe August 22.
Okay.
Yeah,
For my birthday.
it's
Okay.
great. Okay,
Well, when is your
wonderful. Hopefully it's
birthday?
here in time.
My birthday is August 16th.
I
All
think
right,
we
well, we might make it.
we'll aim for it. We'll aim for it.
Okay.
And
Good place to celebrate.
if we can't have a birthday party on a rooftop deck, then we'll at least do something in the store. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I love it.
I'm going to put it on my
Absolutely.
events calendar. Francesca's birthday.
great,
Okay. Okay.
great.
What
Yeah.
kind of food will Natalie, you said? Natalie is your daughter's name?
Uh-huh.
Natalie?
They'll be making
What kind of food will
a
she be
real
serving?
a very healthy fare. I don't think they'll have any specific kind of food, but it will be
Hmm.
very vegetable heavy and super tasty with
Hmm.
fresh herbs and a seasonal flair. And we'll just see. It's a surprise to whatever it is. It's going to be fantastic.
Okay.
A lot of
So
homemade
since I
everything.
live here and I know the area, where next door will that be? I mean, like, what's there now where
It's
that
under
restaurant will
construction.
be?
It's the space
Oh,
that's
okay.
it's in our build. It's the bookstore. Is 3,000 square feet, and then right next door there's a connected to the building is a restaurant that's under construction right now,
Okay. Okay. I have
just
to
to
pay
the
closer
north of the
attention.
Book
All
Jewel.
right.
Yeah, just around.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
peek
Very
around the
good.
corner, and it's right there.
Yes, I will for sure. Absolutely. Because I'm looking forward. I mean, I have not come back since pandemic, but I was doing a lot of outdoor event. I mean, I not in person event uh, things for the community. And what kind of numbers would you accommodate at your event space? I'm curious. Like you said, a larger area.
Well, if you want a table event, it'll seat 50. But if you want to set up
Hmm.
a bunch of folding chairs, it would be at least 100, if not more. Right, Sean? Don't you think?
Okay, that's
It's
great.
a
That's good
2,000
for
square
people to
foot
know
space
because
for events.
hmm
We'll be
that's
advertising as
beautiful.
soon as we can.
I will, and I will absolutely be keeping that in mind for sure,
Yes.
Great.
because I love doing events in person. It
Yes.
came
Me
on
too.
Zoom, and I'm tired of Zoom. I'm
Oh,
like, I
yeah.
want to be around people.
I know. We want to be in person.
Uh, so, what else can you tell us that we need to know about you and about the Book Jewel? Is there anything else that we need to know?
Hmm.
How? So you've managed to survive some really
Yes.
difficult times.
Yes.
What did you do? Was it just your consciousness, your belief? What did you do to survive these difficult times that many small independent places have not survived, and here you opened up and you're thriving. So,
Yep.
what's
Well,
your secret?
we are very penny conscious. We have a small staff that's extremely dedicated, and we all sort of take care of each other. And if a person needs to be out, another person will step up and cover for them. And so we just do as much as we can just to kind of like keep the ship facing in the right direction and going
Mm-hmm.
steadily and slowly towards the good. So,
Mm-hmm. And so, what's your because people, and I say your consciousness, meaning your way of thinking, because a lot of I would imagine many businesses that failed because they believed they were going to fail,
oh,
failed
that's
because
true.
they were in fear. You know,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
you stepped forward in a difficult time, probably having some trepidation and fear, but
Sure.
what do you hold on to? I guess I always say, what's your superpower?
Oh, okay.
What is the thing that allowed you to move forward bravely? This is a brave
Well,
move. You know.
coming back to Westchester and noticing there wasn't an indie bookstore, that I just said that's no good. So when you have this close knit community like Westchester, we sort of take care of one another. A lot of us serve on
Mm,
boards together. Our kids go to school together. The kids I went to Westchester High with, they live in their parents' homes, or their parents still live in those homes.
mm,
They're still living in well into their 90s. So we're a true community, from what I describe as a community where a lot of people know each other, shop locally, whenever possible. And and we don't have any competition. There's no other bookstore here, and it just lends itself to shop small, shop local. And so
mhm,
I really had no qualms or you know negativity associated with the fact that we took this leap of faith in a crazy time of a pandemic and just made it happen.
mhm,
There is just no doubt about it that
mhm.
this place is going to be successful, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, and that's what
You know,
matters. It's the thing that you believe, because we believe things, our lives outpicture according to what we believe, and so you believe that, Sean believes that, I believe that with you. So
I want to add one thing.
here we go.
Well, this is one of the things I love about Karen is that she increases joy wherever she goes. And so we were at
Mhm.
this little function thing over the weekend, and there was one person on the dance floor. And Karen saw that and she said, that's not going to do. So she got up on the
That's
dance
not
floor and started
okay.
dancing. She started dancing, and then I said, "Hey, Karen's dancing." So I got up and started dancing, and pretty soon,
I love that.
this is what happens. We have a dance floor full of people.
Exactly.
And the same sort of
Yeah.
like joy of just like being alive and wanting to share good experiences with other people, it works in a
Mhm.
bookstore too.
Mhm.
So I say to anyone that
Mhm.
wants to start something, start it now and just step out on the dance floor and go for it. Boogie woogie. Yep.
Step out on the dance floor. I love
Very good,
that. That's
Sean.
Yeah.
great. We've
That's
got
really
some good
good.
sayings from you, Sean.
Mm.
I love it. So, I will be. I have to bring my grandson to your store. My grandson. Okay, what's your suggestion here? He's
Okay.
10 years old, about to be 11. He'll be 11 in October, and he's an athlete. He's all about sports. You know, he doesn't care about reading. He reads what he's interested in, and that's mostly sports. And we used to reading was our thing when he was
Sure.
younger, but now he's a preteen. So how do you get that age? How do you reel them in? Or do you have any suggestions?
Well, of course, we do have books on sort of sports. And so I always say,
Yes.
let a child or a young man or a young adult read what they want to read. And
Yes.
if it's only books about one subject, let them read every book they can on the one subject. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I generally believe in letting children and young people and even adults just follow their interests and see where it takes them. But our store is just so
Mm-hmm.
full of cool things that I would just maybe give them a gift
Bring
card
him
and
in.
give them a gift card and say, we're going to go to the book jewel after Ayara Tai, and I want you to pick something out. You can pick out anything you want, and then let him
Mm-hmm.
shop, and he will find something.
Yeah.
You know, just create the opportunity. That's
I'm going to do exactly that.
yeah. Well, that's what I do with
Because,
my daughter.
know,
I try to create opportunities for her and
yes.
just let her lead
Yes.
because she's better at it than I am. You know.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. I just, reading is fundamental. Reading
True.
is
Yeah.
so important. You go on such adventures. I had a daughter, his mother, actually, when she was a little girl, she didn't like reading. Um, and, I would try everything. I would try all these. And when she discovered poetry,
Mhm.
that was it for her.
Wow.
She just loved poetry. And that's when she started really engaging about reading.
Wow.
So I do intend to bring Joey into your bookstore
Mm-hmm.
soon. Maybe this week. Who knows? I'll have him on Wednesday, tomorrow.
Sure.
So
All right.
I'm going to bring him in and see what happens.
Well, I know Karen and I both will be here tomorrow, at least through the
You
afternoon.
will?
Yes, I'm going to
Oh,
be
that
here
would be great because
I'm
I'd
going to
love
be
to
here
meet you in
from 10 to
person.
2. 10 to 2, I'm going to be here, and I know Karen's going to be dropping
Okay.
by for a little while during those hours also. So
Yep.
it'd be really
All
delightful to
right.
meet you in person.
Okay. I
Yes.
hope we can make that happen.
Good.
Well, it has been a delight to have you. It makes my heart go pitter patter. It really does. And I've seen some other independent stores opening up
Mm-hmm. It's
around,
true.
like there's one in Culver City and
Mm-hmm.
different places. So it gives me such hope,
Mm-hmm.
such hope. And
Yes.
particularly with a store like yours that is intending to draw community together because we've been so pushed apart, so pulled apart. And what you're doing, I am very excited about and want to assist in any way I can and participate. So I am going to get on your email list because I want to know all these amazing things
Okay.
that are happening. So I'll stop by and get myself on your list.
Okay.
Very good.
All right.
Sounds
All
great.
right.
Well, we look forward
Any
to it.
final words from either of you? Yes.
No.
Final
I
words?
really enjoyed spending some time
Just
together.
spread the
Thank you.
word.
Yeah.
Yes, that's really
Absolutely
lovely.
spread the word. Absolutely
Yes.
spread the word. And I can't wait till that roof space and the restaurant open. I'm just seeing
Yes.
that.
It's
All
going to be
right.
lovely. Thank you.
I'm sure it is because the bookstore is absolutely lovely. The Book
Thanks.
Jewel in Westchester, California. All right. Thank you,
Thank you.
Karen. Thank you, Sean.
All right.
Thanks,
Okay.
Francesca. See you
Bye-bye.
soon.